Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never knew you needed. I am Jeff Hickox, and across from me, our self-proclaimed presidential historian, Mr. Stan Nawalonic.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing, Stan?
How are you? You feeling better? You tell me earlier today you're a little under the weather.
I'm over the weather now.
You're not contagious, are you?
I am not contagious.
It's not a bug?
It's not a bug.
What was it?
The cocktail flu.
That's what I figured. That was my guess. Hey, what are we talking about today?
That's your job, Stan.
Oh yeah. Our fourth president of the United States. James Madison.
Mr. Madison.
Yeah, James Madison.
Shortest president in history. 5'4".
Sure.
Drafted the Constitution, but opposed the Bill of Rights.
Sure.
Painfully shy in public. And also, he was the first president to face a wartime invasion at the Capitol.
That's great. That's great. That's not what we're talking about.
Oh.
What do you know about his wife?
She made pastries.
No, not.
That's
no.
not
You're
right.
thinking about Dolly Madison fruitcakes and pies
Not
and
her.
all that stuff. They were tasty, but that's not what we're talking about.
I don't know too much about her. A little bit, but not much.
And I know that we previewed it after the Grover Cleveland episode, America's first lady. And your natural thought would be, well, that's Martha Washington.
Right, that's what I would think.
And it wasn't. We never called Martha Washington our first lady. In fact, she didn't even live in the White House because the White House wasn't even built.
Yeah, it wasn't built yet.
She was the wife of the president. It wasn't until Dolly Madison came around that America was first introduced to the duties of a first lady.
Of that role.
Okay. Now, let's tell you a little bit about Dolly. As you pointed out, because you thought the whole episode was going to be about James Madison. It's not.
Okay.
She is the wife of our fourth president.
Yes.
She was born May 20th, 1768 in Person County, North Carolina.
North Carolina. North Kakalaki.
And we were talking about this before we started doing this thing. Nobody, including her, I think, quite knows how to spell her first name.
Yeah, it is a catchy one.
It is, but we don't even know if that's really how it's spelled. Everyone says she spelled it, Dolley.
Correct.
Her birth certificate says Dolly, Dolley, and everybody at the time thought it was short for Dorothea.
Oh.
And she had an aunt, they surmised. Well, this must be it. Her aunt was named Dorothy, but Dorothea and Dorothy, no.
No, it's nowhere close to Dolly.
And in fact, Dolly Madison's last will and testament that she dictated,
Right.
she says, I, Dolly P. Madison, spelled Dolly.
Oh.
So nobody knows how she spells her name. Historians spell it Dolley,
Right.
Dolly.
That's how it'll be on the Facebook page. Just
And
saying.
that's how it'll be on the Facebook page. That is how everybody officially spells her name. But nobody knows what Dolly was on her birth certificate, what it was short for, and she spelled it wrong in her last will and testament.
Right.
So thus it begins. Oh, and she was a Quaker too. Madison,
I did not know that.
Madison was her second husband.
Oh.
She had a first husband. The first was a Quaker named John Todd. He was a lawyer, and you want to talk about having a hard life.
Yeah.
Her husband died of yellow fever, along with one of her two sons, her mother-in-law, and then 2 years later, two older brothers died of the yellow fever.
Damn.
And they say she never fully recovered from virtually her whole family dying from yellow fever. And so she was a single lady. She's got to go and take care of herself, support herself.
Yeah.
And she was, as I pointed out, she was broke, having to take care of her son, John Payne. And it was former Vice President and duel killer Aaron Burr, who became the guardian of her son. And
Really?
yeah, and because he knew her parents. And Aaron Burr was a longtime friend of the shy James Madison.
Yeah.
And he introduced him.
Huh.
And thus a relationship was born. They married quite quickly.
Did they?
He was 43 at the time, James Madison. She, 26.
Oh.
They were married in 1794. And by this time, he had retired from politics, did what he had to do, founding father. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And he retired from politics, went back to his plantation, Mount Pelier, in Orange County, Virginia. The Madisons were, in fact, slave owners.
Okay. Well,
You had a plantation to run at that time.
Right.
Chances were you were going to have slaves.
yeah, you can't judge that by
Correct.
today's standards because it was a different
And
time.
I want people
Not
to
a good time, but a different time.
I want people to remember that too, and you
Yeah.
might have to remind them through this thing.
Yeah.
Remind them because some of the stuff I'm going to tell you, by today's standards, unacceptable, but then
Right.
completely understandable.
Yeah.
So she's with Madison, retired, Mount Pelier, running their plantation. And Thomas Jefferson becomes the third president of the United States. And he's, I don't know how they communicated back then, letters, Pony Express, I don't know, send somebody on a jog. But he got word to Madison, I want you to come out of retirement. I want you to come back up to Washington, D.C. I want you to be my Secretary of State. I really need you to be a part of this.
Yeah.
He takes his wife, Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
They bring along their stepson. Dolly's sister goes along. And yes, their house slaves go with them to
Okay.
Washington, D.C. so that he can be Secretary of State.
Right. Okay.
Now, our story begins. I've set it all up for you.
Uh-huh.
Our story is going to begin. Dolly Madison. Now, keep in mind, she's not the president's wife yet. She's the wife of Secretary of State James Madison to Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
But if we know our history, Thomas Jefferson is a widower.
Correct.
He's shagging up with that Sally Hemings, having a lot of kids, but technically on paper, he's a widower. He has no wife.
Right.
He and that Sally Hemings, though.
That's another story.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It is another story. It is. So, Jefferson knows that Dolly Madison likes to socialize, likes to have a good time. Dolly Madison was known to have a convivial every now and again, an alcoholic beverage.
There you go.
She would take a few puffs from a pipe every once in a while, blow some smoke rings.
How about that?
She liked to have fun.
Social butterfly.
And the thing that was so great for Jefferson, having this Dolly Madison around, was that in those times, you had your two political parties.
Mm-hmm.
You had your Democratic Republicans and your Federalists.
Right.
And they didn't intermingle. They didn't go and they didn't have a social functions where they would intermingle, where
Okay.
there would be Democratic Republicans and Federalists walking around.
Just didn't happen.
They stayed in their own little corners
Okay.
and socialized amongst themselves. Dolly Madison, Little Miss Fun Time, says, no. We're going to throw some gatherings, and everybody's invited.
All inclusive.
All inclusive. And so she really broke the ice so that politicians could communicate and talk with one another. And as far as foreign dignitaries go, the wives of ambassadors and leaders that were coming to the White House to greet
Yeah.
Jefferson, she became friends with all of them. And they all wanted to know, is Dolly Madison going to be hosting a little something? Where can we go and hang out? She's such great fun.
Yeah.
And she was really setting the standards for what was going to be done as the wife of a president and essentially the White House hostess.
Right.
And so when Jefferson completes his 2 terms, James Madison is elected our fourth president, she moves right into the role seamlessly.
Yeah.
And
she's already been doing it.
she's been doing it, and she's beloved.
Yeah. It's still that way now.
That's how it is. That's the protocol of it now.
She started all that.
Yep.
Good for her.
She's hanging out. She's first lady, having all the great times and hanging out. But during her husband's presidency, they had the War of 1812.
Yeah.
In
the British.
Yes.
Again.
In 1813, the British attacked Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And burned the White House to the ground.
Sacked the White House.
History books tell us a half-truth, that Dolly Madison saved many articles, trinkets, and things, including the portrait of George Washington that sat in the White House. I mean, she was only one person. How is she going to go and put all of this stuff under her arm and get it out of the White House? But the history books will tell you she saved the official painting of George Washington that hung in the White House.
Is that the truth?
No. Well, she ordered that it be saved.
Gotcha.
Makes for a really good story, but it was her slaves that actually were told to stay back in the battle and remove that painting and put it in a safe place. I order you to do that.
So she wasn't there. So she
was there. Everybody's evacuating.
Okay.
Well, let's just say I'm a Dolly Madison.
Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dolly.
and you are my house slave.
Okay. Hi, Miss Dolly.
All right, just picture that. Just don't worry. But I'm saying, oh my God, we got to get the hell out of here. We got to get the hell out of here. I'm splitting. By the way, Jeff, you take that picture of George Washington, you find it safe, and take some of these pots and pans and stuff too.
Silver.
I'm telling you right now, save it.
Right.
I'm out of here.
Okay, that's kind of how it worked.
But the way it went.
Again,
in the history
we are
books,
talking about slaves, but it was the time.
Yeah.
It's the time. We know that it's not appropriate now. Obviously, it's disgusting, but that's how during that time, it's how it was, right?
But if you read your history books, she saved it.
Gotcha.
And that's where it gets hypocritical.
Right.
The picture, the painting, I say picture, it's a painting.
Correct.
Of George Washington is the only remaining piece of art that was from the original White House. And she ordered it to be saved. And it was. And interestingly enough, if you tour the White House right now and you see the picture of George Washington, within eyesight of his eyes in that painting, directly across is a painting of Dolly Madison.
Really?
So that they're both kind of looking at each other. All right, so getting back to it. So 1817, Madison's 2 terms are up. She goes back to Montpelier with James Madison. They go into retirement. Her son, John Payne, stepson to James Madison, is a gambler, a drunk, and once they get back to Montpelier, they realize he is in a debtor's prison in Philadelphia.
Oh,
and
no.
Here is a prestigious young man who never found a career. Parents out there, picture the kid that won't get off the sofa.
Right.
Lives in your basement. I'll get a job tomorrow, Ma.
President's son.
Yeah.
Well, stepson, but still.
They had to do something. They went and sold land they own in Kentucky and mortgaged off half of Montpelier.
Wow.
To get him out. To get him out, clear his debts, and get him to Montpelier where he was going to live.
That's terrible.
Yep. Things got a lot worse for Dolly Madison at this point in time, because you're bringing a drunk son to live with you, and you basically sold off half of your wealth to get them there.
Yeah.
James Madison dies June 1836. She stays at Mount Pelier, but she is broke. She stayed about a year. She's busted broke, thanks to that drunken son. But in stupidity, she allows him to stay at the plantation while she goes back to Washington, D.C.
That's not going to go well.
Son, you're in charge of the plantation. I'm going back to Washington where I can hang out with some friends.
Get away from you.
Yeah. She is in desperate need of cash. She's in still great demand in Washington, D.C. And the first thing she does after President Madison dies and she moves back to Washington, D.C., is she sells James Madison's papers for $55,000, sells them. Now, you must not put today's morals and standards on people from a different century. But she sold those papers. She had to go and have her son out of debtor's prison. She was thinking for herself. Yeah. I'm a widowed woman with no property left. I only know how to be a social butterfly.
Right.
And I gotta take care of myself. Going back to Washington, D.C., she takes along her slave butler. His name is Paul Jennings.
Okay.
He ran Mount Pelier, would answer the door, show the people into the parlor, and and she wanted him to go with her to Washington, D.C. He was a slave.
Right.
She couldn't afford to take the whole family along.
I was going to say, was he a married
Yes,
man?
he was, with kids.
Ugh.
And she basically took him along and forced him to leave behind his wife and family.
That's terrible.
I want to play a little clip for you. This is from a political historian, an expert on first ladies. Her name is Dr. Catherine Algor, as she describes, and again, you have to think of the times, and she was out to save herself.
Right.
How she felt about her slaves. Take a listen to this.
Okay.
Certainly by the time she's in her 40s and she's been married to James for many years and back in Virginia, she is as unattractive a slaveholder as anyone. So when you, as any Southerner anyway, when she writes about her enslaved people, she's sort of outraged and entitled, and she talks quite blatantly about them as property in a way that we find very disconcerting, because she is known as this incredibly loving and generous and empathic person, which she was. But when she talks about slaves, she doesn't talk about them in any worse way than any Southerner, but it's pretty jarring. And then after James Madison's death, when he doesn't free his slaves and she starts selling them off, she comes in for a lot of criticism, because now we're talking about the 1840s from the abolitionist press. So she does not have a good record with slavery.
I'm going to give you proof of that right now.
Okay.
She goes to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Her son is running Mount Pelier, loses it all. He
loses the rest of the
loses
plantation.
the rest of it. Plantation's gone. He couldn't manage it. It sold. It went. It's gone. All gone.
Wow.
And so she goes and wants to go and sell off the remainder of James Madison's papers. There were no buyers at the time for James Madison's papers. So she decides, I'm going to sell Paul Jennings.
Oh.
Now, keep in mind, she has his wife and kids down at Mount Pelier, which has already gone belly up. So who knows what's going on there?
Don't even know what's going on with those.
And
people.
I'm gonna sell my slave. She sells Jennings to an insurance agent for $200. In 2025 money, that is $7,000.
Nothing.
Nothing, practically nothing. Senator and future Secretary of State Daniel Webster hears about this.
Yeah.
And says, "What the F are you doing?
Golly.
What are you doing?" And he buys Paul Jennings. And
From the insurance guy.
Yes. And as soon as he buys him, he looks at Paul and he says, "You're free, go get your family."
Awesome.
And he was the one that set him free.
That's great. Well, I'm glad it went that way.
Yeah. Now, and you and I were talking about this before we went and discussed Dolly Madison. You said this was before we were recording. You were like, didn't Congress give her a pension?
A pension, yeah.
What happened is because nobody bought her papers, James Madison's papers. Mm-hmm. Congress, because she was still very influential with first families.
And she was helping first ladies as they were elected to give them the runaround or teach them how to do the things that they needed to do.
Congress went and said, "Okay, we're going to buy your papers. We're going to give you $25,000 for the papers." And that gets her out of poverty.
Okay.
And let me add this. So after her butler, Paul Jennings, gets his freedom, gets his family back, this guy was a sharp one. He wrote his own memoirs.
Really?
He wrote all about life as the butler within the Madison family.
I wonder if that's a book you can get now.
I don't know. But this is where this guy is. It's amazing. He understood what Dolly Madison did to him by saying in his memoirs, quote, "Dolly Madison was in a state of absolute poverty. Mm-hmm. She had no money, nowhere to go, nobody to help her. She was in absolute poverty." And so he understood that she had to do what she had to do because, again, in those days, as horrific as it is, they were property.
Yeah.
She could sell property. She sold presidential libraries. The papers of a president, especially, could you imagine a founding father?
I know.
And she's selling them off like it's candy.
Yeah.
And she did it with everything she owned. Her son was a gambler, a boozer, couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, and cost her Montpelier.
Well, Paul Jennings was definitely the better person in this situation.
Oh, absolutely. Dolly Madison passes away in Washington, D.C., July 12th, 1849. She lived to the age of 81. She was buried in an airtight coffin with a glass window on the coffin so you could look in on her.
Oh.
Let's take a look at Dolly Madison.
Why?
Don't ask me. After and to put a nice little thing on this, the government and everybody knows.
Nice bow on it?
Yes. Yeah. Montpelier is now one of the best tourist attractions there is. She was buried at Montpelier along with James Madison, and you can go visit.
Yeah. So even though they lost it, somehow it came back.
It came back.
Okay.
Right up until Dolly Madison's death, she was still advising first ladies. The first person that the first ladies would go to when they made their way to the White House in Washington, D.C., was to sit and consult with Dolly Madison. Before she passed away, she hung out and advised Margaret Taylor, Zachary Taylor's wife.
Yeah.
He's the 12th president. Keep in mind, she was running the White House since the third president.
Right.
We're up to the 12th president now.
And she's still doing it.
And she's still doing it. And she exchanged letters and comments and thoughts and advice with Margaret Taylor, Zachary Taylor's wife.
Yeah.
And Dolly Madison passes away, and Margaret did attend her funeral. And in fact, President Zachary Taylor, eulogized Dolly Madison.
Oh.
And it is the first recorded record of anybody referring to her and the wife of the President of the United States as the First Lady.
So it wasn't used when she was alive. The first time it was used was to describe her after she passed.
As he was giving the eulogy, the term First Lady was used in saying that she was truly the First Lady of the United States.
Which is why the fourth president's wife is the First Lady.
Correct. Isn't that something?
It is something. Good story. Thank you.
It is a good story. And here's another interesting thing that you might want to look at, and you can even post up on our Facebook.
Okay.
She was the first presidential wife to be photographed.
Really?
There are 3 known photographs
I'll have to try to find
of
one.
Dolly Madison.
Yeah, I'll have to find one. She also served ice cream in White House parties in 1810, and that was before anybody knew what ice cream even was.
See, she was an innovator.
Yeah, she was.
And she was beloved.
Yeah.
Just a tough life.
Yeah.
Our next
What's next?
installment in 2 weeks.
Uh-huh. Is it?
Ulysses S. Grant. Oh,
Okay.
so famous. And his relationship, his friendship with Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens. The 2 of them saved each other's ass.
Really? I can't wait to see that
Yes,
one. Or
both of
hear
them.
that one.
Both of them did each other a fantastic favor. You wanna give us an outro?
This has been
Jeez.
Beyond Mount Rushmore.
What is it called?
The history you never knew you needed.
What? Beyond Mount
Didn't
Rushmore?
know you wanted. Beyond Mount Rushmore. I'm Jeff
Thank you.
Hickox. This is Stan Now Alonic, our self-proclaimed presidential historian.
Hi, everybody.
Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Yes. See ya.
Bye.